Now, I know that I've already briefly touched upon this subject before in a live stream that lasted about an hour and a half, and I think I talked about this subject for about 20 odd to 30 minutes, but I really think after seeing some more evidence from Uzulu and some other people that I know, I think we need to make a video about this because it's really bloody interesting. Now, as we all know, but for those of you who've been out the loop for whatever reason, Bearing has had his channel terminated due to a copyright strike by Fresh TV. Now, this of course happened in a flagging of 3 videos, although there was some confusion because it was shown to Bearing to be 1 video, but then later it was 3 and he got terminated. And this is because he used an avatar with a strong likeness to the bear from Total Drama Island, and Fresh TV own the rights to said bear, and we all know the truth about that. But the knee-jerk reactions before that claim that he was getting censored by the SJWs or by corporations who don't like what he has to say, for example. And it was knee-jerk and it was slightly cringy, although that's probably an understatement. But it turns out that it wasn't without some kind of merit. In fact, with these screenshots that Uzulu has shown and other people have given me, there's reason to believe that if it wasn't some conspiracy, which is a conjecture at this point, people were reporting Bearing. People on the social justice feminist side who dislike Bearing, and believe me, there's a lot of them. As Jeff Holiday said in his stream, they really, really do not like Bearing. They hate him more than Sargon, they hate him more than Teal'c, they hate him more than Thunderfoot even at this point. Bearing. Now, we could get into as to why they dislike him, but that's not really the point of this video. So let's just show you the screenshots now and let's end this with a very long and pointless intro. Now, the first one comes from my old friend Danny Courts. Now, some of you will remember Danny Courts as someone who did videos on Undoomed. He did a video on me. He referenced me in another video of his, and he's done videos responding to Bearing, and there's actually live streamed with Bearing. Now, I don't like this guy. Everyone knows I don't like this guy, and everyone knows he doesn't like me. And I, for one, did not trust him when he appeared on that stream with Bearing because, well, what are you doing here? Are you here to build bridges, or are you just here to look like you're building bridges? Because he's a very dishonest, very disingenuous man, especially when he makes his videos. He loves to either take things out of context, take things incredibly seriously to the point of lunacy, even though the person is not being serious. It's just the usual SJW nonsense in his arguments, stuff that can be easily debunked. He might occasionally have a decent point, but it's half decent at best. And this is what he has to say to the Fresh channel, which is the Twitter page of Fresh TV. Are you the creators of Total Drama Island series? I need to report that someone stole one of your images and is using it for profit to harass women on the internet. He goes by the name of Bearing. You can contact him here, and lists his YouTube channel and his Twitter. Of course, he doesn't tag Bearing in this because that would be brave. That would be foolish. So he just lists his Twitter page. Now, again, he's not the only person that has been shown to have done this. There is no evidence to suggest he was working as part of a larger conspiracy, though maybe there was a conspiracy, maybe there wasn't. I know I shouldn't be using that word, but bear in mind that this is the same group of people who did do a genuine conspiracy against Thunderfoot. They were trying to organise a mass flagging of him, plus other people as well. This was during the early part of my channel, where Laughing Witch was still around, Bewildered Ape was still around, and of course, so was Hannibal the Victor. He wasn't a part of the whole flagging campaign, but he was part of the letter writing campaign. And basically what happened was a group of SJWs, led mainly by a man called Johnny Horse, who many people won't remember, were organising in a Twitter hangout, which included some guy, I forgot his name, Kevin Logan, Jenny McDermott, Laughing Witch, Bewildered Ape, and I think there was another SJW, but I can't remember their name, and someone from our side called Laughing Witch Exposed, who pretended to be somebody else, and basically somehow gained the trust of these idiots, and then released to the world what they were planning. Now, there's no evidence to suggest that this has been happening, despite the fact that this particular clique of SJWs are very incestuous and very cliquey. Incestuous is a metaphor, people, okay? I'm not saying you're into incest, it's just a metaphor to say that you're all very insular, but whatever. It's not completely off the cards, but then again, I can't prove it, and it's just conjecture. Now let's go to the next person who's in slightly more of a grey area, unlike Danny Courts, who's very, very, very serious about this, and well, what's the point in building bridges if you've just got to get the guy terminated? And this is Shaun and Jen. Now, he could be trolling, he might not be trolling, especially as you'll see the next screenshot, and this is what he has to say. I only emailed a few people about Bearing's use of copyright artwork. I didn't think they'd actually take his channel down. Now, this suggests one or two things. One, he just wanted Bearing to get in trouble and wanted to flag him to make a point, because Shaun and Jen recently got absolutely wrecked by Bearing in a video response, and maybe he felt butthurt and decided, you know what, I'm gonna try and get that video taken down, but didn't expect his channel to be taken down. Or maybe he knew that potentially could happen and he's just saying, wow, I didn't think they'd actually do it. Maybe he knew this was gonna happen, but then again, who knows? But then he gets into a conversation with a person called Mary Casasatsmus. I can't pronounce that name at all. Be careful admitting to something like that. These people don't need much of an excuse to make an enemy out of you. I'm only winding him up, ha, or am I? Says Shaun and Jen. So again, either he's doing a Tim and trying to troll people and trying to get attention from all this, or he's being legit. I have no idea, because then later he decides to act the tough guy with Mary, and he says, if you give them excuse to label you as the guy who snitched on Bearing, they'll repeat that talking point until the end of time. Bring them on, I'll eat them all. Yes, you definitely ate Bearing alive. Yeah, but again, this could prove that maybe he did do it, but then again, he's acting the tough guy, but he's also trying to make it out that he's trolling as well. This is a very unclear part of it. I'm really not sure about Shaun. And then later, someone says, are you sure it was something on your end? YouTube has a way of fucking content creators pretty regularly. And then Shaun and Jen says, yeah, it might not have been me. It'll be a laugh if it was though. So again, he's implying that he did report Bearing, and judging by what Danny Courts did, I have reason to believe that these people probably did report him, but by and large did it individually, because I don't know if they know each other, and the idea of it being a Laughing Witch Jenny McDermott type thing, although it's on the table, it's just a little bit too far for me to really say this is what's going on. I really don't know the inner workings of this particular group than I do about the old people, but let's continue, because this other one gets very interesting. Now this is an egg account called Straight Snitching, at Snitching on him, and there's been a lot of speculation as to who this person is. Some people think it's a sock puppet, other people think it's a legit person. I am not going to say who it is because I don't know who it is, and I'm not going to try and label those people as this person because they can just say no, and if I'm wrong, I look like an idiot. So this is what he has to say about Bearing. Again, reporting Fresh Channel publicly. These people are publicly doing it. It's not like Jenny McDermott and Laughing Witch's letter writing campaign where they only told us after they'd already sent the emails. But I digress. Here's a new Bearing video making fun of grape culture and bragging about 250k subscribers. Well, firstly, it was probably his 250,000 subs landmark video, so he's not actually bragging. And grape culture is satire, so whatever. But then again, look, they're trying to make him out to be a woman hater. They're trying to make him out to be this evil, disgusting personality on the internet using their IP, which we don't know if these people actually made enough noise for Fresh TV to act. It could have been that they found him anyway and ignore tweets like this, but we don't know. Let's continue because it gets more juicier. He then continues, Ruffles, who snitched? And somebody says, you. I think this is a video link to either Bearing or somebody else. I don't know, but obviously it's to do with what happened. Now, it could be that this person doesn't know who snitched, or it's a who snitched, as in who the man or who the woman, you know? It could be anything like that. Again, a lot of these things kind of delve into the realm of speculation and interpretation, so it's really up to you guys what you want to take out of this. And then he continues with some other tweets. Now, I don't think all of this is in order because I just got these from people, so please bear with me, but the point is to show evidence, not to necessarily put it in chronological order. And there he continues to talk to Fresh Channel, and this was, you have no proof. In fact, Fresh TV blocked me on Twitter. It could be Netflix. It could be Teletoons. Gee, don't blame the Fresh Channel. I contacted a ton of people. Could have been Netflix, could have been Teletoon, etc. And then post links and some other things, and I just don't know how he's been blocked if he's tagging these people in his posts. But hey, whatever, I digress. Again, it's shown that either it could have been this person, it could have been Shaun and Jen, or it could have been Courts, or it could have been all three of them making enough noise to do so. But then again, why would three people be enough noise for a massive company to check this out? But then again, we've seen before that it only takes one person to change a big corporation's mind about something. Such is the atmosphere of the times that we live in, and I think they know this. Now, we'll get to the TikTok poof bit in a minute, because that's one of the incriminating tweets. But let's just see this other one. Rad Sexington, sorry to stalk you at Twitter, whatever that says. I went platinum during a snitch drought. Sometimes it goes down like that, wrecked. I went platinum running the snitch game. So he's someone, or she is someone who blatantly enjoys snitching on people and reporting them and getting their channels flagged for whatever reason. I've noticed that all these people didn't flag the videos themselves. They just reported Bearing to the people who owned the copyright, which is fair enough, but it's very sneaky and snidey because they're not going the direct route, which would probably in all likelihood expose them. But then again, YouTube tends to give more anonymity to people who gave the copyright strikes and flags than the person receiving flagging them. But I just find it very sneaky, so sneaky and so cowardly that they couldn't even flag in themselves. Like, you could totally go and flag someone and say this is the copyright of somebody else. You can flag in their name. That's what this whole Rebel Media Auxiliary, whatever they're called, has been going around doing, like what Chris Reagan was talking about. He then tweets at TED Talk saying, you guys were fighting Bearing with a DMCA. Did you know his avatar has stolen copyright artwork from show Total Drama Island? And then to Netflix again, is it okay to use Total Drama copyrighted artwork for anti-feminist fat shaming? 276k subscribers, see this. And then the rest of it's talk about Trump and American politics. It's interesting that he tweets at TED Talks. He's clearly trying to get as many big companies to hear about Bearing and to see what he's been doing as much as he can. Even though I'm not sure that TED Talks and Netflix are in any way related to each other, and I don't know if they actually are in contact with each other. The point is, he's trying to drum as much noise as he can. He seems very, very insistent on getting Bearing reported. Now, I don't know if his intention was to terminate Bearing. It seems most likely that he was, or if he was just trying to cause issues for him. Either way, this is typical SJW bullshit. This is probably evidence that yes, there was a censorship thing behind this, but then again, we don't really know, because maybe Fresh TV found Bearing eventually anyway. I don't know. But let's move on. He then laughs at Liz Reptile, of all people, who asked who snitched on Bearing. And well, he's implying here, or she, I know it's a she, but he's just for the sake of argument, he seems to be suggesting it was him that did it. Or he could just be laughing at Liz Reptile, who knows. Now this here's to do with the Fresh TV blocking him. Somebody was saying that Bearing said it was Fresh TV who gave him the copyright strike, and then Straight Snitching said, what a fucking snitch. Now I don't know who he's talking about. He could be talking about himself, could be talking about anybody, who knows. But again, he seems to be gloating about the fact that it was him who brought down Bearing. He then replies to himself talking about no copyright intended, delicious irony, which again is talking about Bearing. Now let's talk about what I think is the most incriminating one, and this is what Bearing says the morning his channel went down. I've set all videos on my channel to private this morning. I'm not under attack. This is intentional. I'll be back up and running ASAP. And then Straight Snitching says TikTok poof. Now that could mean that he's mocking Bearing, or his work in reporting him has succeeded. Again, I don't know, but I think this is some proof that SJWs could have been behind the copyright claims. Again, we don't know if their tweets and their emails had any effect, because I think eventually Fresh TV were going to find out about this, because even anti-SJWs were telling Bearing that he really needed to stop using this bear because it could get him in trouble. And I think the merchandising thing, as people know, was probably the straw that broke the camel's back in that regard. But anyway, that's the video really. So what do you guys think? I think these tweets kind of support the idea that there was some kind of attempt to censor Bearing, or to report him and get him off YouTube, or at the very least hamper him. But whether or not these are the things that caused Fresh TV to actually report him and flag him and terminate his channel, I don't know. We don't know. We have no idea, because Fresh TV haven't actually said anything. They've been very quiet about this. But it lends credence to some of the early knee-jerk reactions. But again, we don't know. This is pure conjecture, and I leave it to you guys to figure it out for yourselves as we uncover more evidence. So until next time, I'll see you all later.